Live on News Now.
Samia, we're right out in front, and Frank Orgy is a delegate with the Tennessee delegation. I want to spend a little time with him before he goes in tonight on the floor. And what you're a Cruz guy, right?
Yes, I absolutely am a Cruz guy.
Okay, break the code for me. Last night when he went down that road of no endorsement for Donald Trump, how did you view that?
Well, I was actually on the floor, and I had watched the coverage on the media, and they made it sound, I've heard the language, he was booed off the stage. That's false. He was not booed off the stage. Some of the Trump people were unhappy with the fact that he did not make an explicit endorsement of Mr. Trump. But here's the deal. What he said was, follow your conscience and vote up and down the ticket. Now, the only reason for you not to vote for Donald Trump would be that your conscience tells you he's not the right man. Senator Cruz did not say that. Senator Cruz is not the type of person to be invited to speak and then go out and condemn Donald Trump. That would not be appropriate. So I think that Senator Cruz is on the receiving end of a false narrative.
Okay, did you read this as I did, that a lot of the noise was actually in the front with the New York delegation? That was where a lot of the booing came from, and then that gets amplified. They're close to the stage, and then everybody thinks it's a resounding chorus of boos when that may not necessarily be the case.
That's a great insight, and somebody who's involved in the media would catch that. But for the untrained eye and for the untrained ear, people watching at home, they say, "Oh my, look at this!" The whole audience was going.
Were you cheering?
Yes, I was cheering.
There were people cheering Ted Cruz too.
Oh, absolutely. There was everybody I was surrounded with was cheering enthusiastically for Senator Cruz.
Now, did you have trouble, since you're an alternate in the delegation, Tennessee delegation, did you have trouble because you were a Cruz supporter not being an actual delegate that you became an alternate? Did you get pushed away, in other words, because you supported Cruz?
Oh, no, I didn't get that sense at all, no.
Because we did have that happen to a delegate in Arizona. She's sitting up in the overflow with Texas. Lori Hack. You probably read about it.
I was not aware of that.
She's a Cruz supporter also.
That's very shameful if that's the case. It should not be.
She thinks she was strong-armed, but they wanted to show cohesion. Okay, let's fast forward to tonight, Samia, and I want to ask Frank about this. Is there anything Donald Trump can say tonight that will really make you feel comfortable with him as your Republican nominee?
Well, I have some deep concerns with his very ambivalent language with regards to Planned Parenthood. So if he can make that clear for a lot of social conservatives, I think he can get a lot of social conservatives on board with that kind of language. Other than that, the alternative is unthinkable.
So you're on board anyway?
We can't vote for Hillary Clinton. The Supreme Court hangs in the balance. This is not the time for he's not perfect. I had the perfect candidate. I had a fantastic candidate. The voters didn't choose him, so Donald Trump is the guy. He's certainly better than Hillary Clinton.
And you're comfortable with that?
Yes.
Okay. Listen, thank you, Frank. Good luck tonight. It should be interesting.
Thank you.
Will there be party unity after this, or is that still kind of an elusive thing?
Oh, no, I believe there will be. I believe absolutely that there will be party unity.
Because it's been a little bit of a rocky road here. You got to admit, it's been a little bit rocky.
Oh, sure. Oh, no. In the sense of, look, this is not a coronation and this is not an inauguration. This is a political convention. There are people here. There were Rubio people and on down the line, Jindal and Huckabee, I imagine, have fans here. So everybody's not here that's going to speak in one tone saying, I'm all about one thing.
Aren't you glad it's been a peaceful convention so far?
Absolutely. And
Cleveland's a great city.
Cleveland, fantastic. The people are fantastic. The law enforcement has been incredibly fantastic and very professional. Yes.
Frank, thank you for your time. Pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.
All right. He's an SC guy. He's a California guy. But we have one Sun Devil right here who's also sitting in on the delegation.
You know,
I don't
I'm
know
an
if you're
SC girl
dressing
too,
the
right?
part to just get in, or if you really are in the delegation.
I wish I was. You're
an ASU guy. I know how we can be a little bit crafty and sneaky sometimes.
Dress for the job you want, right?
There you go. Your name?
Jeff Odes.
Okay. Now, Jeff, you're a California guy. You went to ASU.
Correct.
Is this your first convention?
This is my first convention.
Impressions for the untrained out there who have never seen one of these before up close.
It's been a wonderful experience. I've got to shake hands with many people that I admire, people that I oppose, but have turned me around to saying, hey, I admire that person because he's a sincere person. I might not agree with him, but I've met across the board, from liberal Democrats to conservative Republicans. I've watched the process. I got to go out on the floor. I was actually on the floor right behind the New York delegation with the Florida delegates when Cruz spoke.
Oh, so you know what I'm talking about.
What you were asking Frank about is exactly true. A majority of it came from right there in front of the stage.
Are you a Trump guy?
No, I'm a Cruz guy.
You're a Cruz guy.
But like Frank, Trump is our nominee. we're definitely not going to support the alternative.
Is it safe to say that the party in that hall is skeptical of Donald Trump?
I'm not qualified to say that. I mean, everybody might be skeptical of anybody for any particular reason. Some conservatives might want to hear something specific from Trump tonight, like Frank said about Planned Parenthood. I'm a big Second Amendment guy, as well as a Planned Parenthood guy.
Did you carry while you were in Cleveland?
No. I didn't want to travel, because then you got to think about how am I going to secure it
Sure.
when I come to the convention. I'm not going to leave it in a hotel room or anything like that. But when in Arizona, I carry, and when in my state that I have adopted now, Washington, because I live and work in Seattle, I carry all the time there.
Okay, one more thing before I let you go. Would you say that the binding agent for all Republicans in there right now is you may have misgivings about Trump, but no one in there wants Hillary Clinton? Is that just safe to say?
Oh, I'm sure that's a constant thread that's going through all Republicans that are here.
So that makes Trump acceptable.
Definitely, and it's like any convention. There was probably people who had many misgivings about Ronald Reagan in '76. That's why they went with Ford.
Right.
Many then went, well, we got 4 years of Jimmy Carter after that. Let's take another look at Reagan. So,
You think Cruz's time is coming?
oh, I hope so. I hope he's involved in whatever capacity. I would not be shattered if he was appointed to the Supreme Court. He's a brilliant constitutional mind.
Before we go Devils.
Take us there,
You're
Coach
good
Graham.
man.
Wow.
You're good man.
Wow.
Guys, thank you very much.
John Huck, I'm on the side of the Trojan,
Jeff
right?
Scott.
I'm with the
wait a minute.
Trojan,
One
right?
of my old pals and a Fox 10 alum, Jeff Scott. What's up, buddy?
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
These 22-hour
Giving
days
some
are
love
great,
here, buddy.
huh? Oh, it's great to see you.
Great to see you,
Go
man.
Devils.
Go Devils.
Yeah,
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 another
yeah.
Sun Devil. Love it.
Yeah, yeah.
What's your impression so far?
It's been a hell of a show.
It has been.
I mean, whether you agree with it or not, it's just been a real interesting
Now, you're representing who right
convention.
now?
Arizona and California News Radio Network,
Okay,
so
yeah.
about 100 radio stations.
Listen to the voice. This guy, he's tough.
Scotch and cigars, baby.
All right, you've been to a few of these. So have I. This is my ninth. How many for you?
6, I think.
Okay. Do you agree that this has been the least cohesive?
Yeah, it is a little bit of a mix of everything, yeah. And partially intentionally, I think. I think that there was the intent was to bring in people who don't normally speak at conventions, to bring in the type of people who appeal to people that don't normally watch conventions. And I think that that's what they tried to bring together, and you're not going to have smooth sailing when you have a bunch of inexperienced people up top. Behind the scenes, yeah, I think, there wasn't much micromanaging going on, and maybe that's led to some of the odd moments that we've seen throughout the week.
Joe Arpaio's going to speak tonight at 8:05. That was an interesting choice. I mean, Trump's going to hit the immigration thing hard, we know that. But he's also got to reach out a little bit to Latinos. He needs to pull some voters out of that block. He's actually been rising recently. Do you think this helps him or hurts him?
I don't know that it's going to be high profile enough for it to really hurt him, but I know that Sheriff Arpaio was a little disappointed that he wasn't on the initial list of speakers, and he sees himself as one of the initial Trump backers in Arizona. Spoke to Corey Lewandowski, the former Trump campaign director, yesterday, and he mentioned specifically Jeff DeWitt, Joe Arpaio, Jan Brewer, as the people who really helped launch the campaign, not just in Arizona but nationally, because if you recall, that rally in Phoenix last year,
That was a launch pad.
that was really what opened the eyes of a lot of people who thought, he's not going to just appeal to people who can fill a small room. This was, they moved it 3 times till when they ultimately ended up in the convention center. So someone like Lewandowski, who organized that rally, has a lot of loyalty, and you have to think that Donald Trump does as well. And when he heard that Sheriff Arpaio wanted to be up there, they didn't exactly bury him at 6 o'clock either.
No, that's right. Hey, listen, Jeff, great to see you.
Good to see
We
you.
enjoyed working with you all those years.
I always enjoy working with you. Still watch you.
This guy, thank you, buddy. This guy was great on our assignment desk, and he's a great newsman. Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate it.
What
Be
did
well.
I just do?
Oh, this is Fox 10 News Now.
Oh, okay. All
This
right.
is our, for lack of a better term, I guess our YouTube channel that we stream. We're almost 24 hours a day now.
Okay, very good.
So they figured out a way to put me to work pretty much every hour of the day, Jeff.
That's great, yeah.
You know how it
We're getting
goes.
too old.
See you, buddy.
Yeah.
All right. So, Samia, a little random sampling of some folks who've been watching this over the last 4 days. And, you and I could chat if you've got any questions. But I would just say for Donald Trump tonight, he's got to look presidential. He's got to look acceptable to the American people. He's got to look like a guy who's clear-minded and level-headed. And it gets down to a very interesting test. Is this a person that you would invite into your living room for the next 4 years? I think it's that basic.
That's an interesting point you brought up, just how presidential he looks. I was talking to my mom yesterday after day 3 of the GOP convention, and she made an interesting point, and I don't know if a lot of people out there think like this, but she pointed out that Donald Trump's family just collectively looks very presidential in comparison to Hillary Clinton's family and their stage presence. What's your take on that?
Well, that's interesting because, I mean, Hillary Clinton's family is presidential. Bill Clinton was the president, and Chelsea Clinton was raised in that White House, and Hillary Clinton was the first lady. So I don't know how you could look more presidential than that, but I get your point that Donald Trump's family, they look pretty together. I mean, these are a lot of people who are now in the business and corporate world and working for Donald Trump. They're all very well educated. It's a bright group of people. And I think with Ivanka tonight, who's going to introduce her father, as we understand it, I mean, she is about as classy as you can get. So she's a very potent weapon for Donald Trump because people look at her and they say, she's got a lot on the ball. She's not some airhead. She's a very bright, articulate woman.
We do have some tweets from some viewers as well. Want to get your response to a couple of them. I like this question from Richmond Robbins here in AZ, saying, will the GOP tame Trump or will Trump be Trump?
That is a great question. Well, he's going to be on a teleprompter. He can't walk a high wire tonight. This has got to be buttoned up. He better have a darn good speechwriter because he's got to hit on all the points. He can't risk looking like the self-promoting Donald Trump. He's got to rise above that if he's going to appeal to more people. And he's got to look like a guy ready for the job. So I think they lock it down in a teleprompter speech, and Trump will probably vary from it when he feels comfortable. But I think you get a very locked down Donald Trump because there's too much risk. Too much risk and potentially no reward if he goes really off script and starts riffing. People will lose interest and they'll feel like it's self-serving and they won't like it. So, he's got to throw some barbs out there and some red meat to this gathering and to the nation at large to talk about issues that people are upset about. They don't feel comfortable still. Their take-home pay hasn't gone up in 10 years. They're worried about immigration. They're worried about immigration from Muslim countries. They're worried about terrorism. He's going to portray himself as the law and order guy tonight. He's going to say, look, folks, we got problems, and I am the guy to keep you safe. You can't trust her. We're going to get that from Donald Trump.
Interesting. Well, I know that the convention, I think it's just kicking off now, John, so we're going to take the viewers live inside the convention. Appreciate you giving us this live look at what's happening outside. Okay, no problem.
Glad to do it. Okay, it's good talking with you guys, and we'll see you tonight on Fox 10 News at 5, 6, 9, and 10.
All
How about
thanks,
that?
John.
We're going in.
All right, guys, we are live inside the convention.
Johnny? Okay.
Let's follow them along as they show us the inside of the convention. It's kind of a cool look to see how people are walking through the convention, guys. This is the view of the convention you don't typically see.
You're going to see some. You're going to see a lot of red, white, and blue. Are we in the wrong spot here, or are we good? Okay. Hey, guys.
John, if you can still hear me, we are taking a live feed of the inside of the convention right now as you guys walk through the building.
Yeah, now a lot of the people you see out here are not necessarily delegates. A lot of the delegates are on the floor already. But you get a lot of people who are here to do business. Some of the so-called fat cats, some of the people just connected to the party who are here but are not delegates. So you get a mix of all of that. Another guy from the Tennessee delegation right there. Now I know the coat. I know what I'm looking for. Which way? We keep trying to go up this elevator, Samia, and they don't let us. We've got a shortcut, but it only works after we leave you. Hey, you look very nice tonight.
I look what?
You look very nice tonight.
Thank you very much.
Very patriotic.
You look very nice yourself.
Which delegation are you from?
Minnesota. Minnesota!
There you go. You're a Trump supporter, clearly.
Absolutely, now I am, yep.
What do you want to hear from him tonight?
I want him to knock it out of the park. I want to hear a lot of the things that Pence said, and I want to take that energy back home.
Do you believe in your heart of hearts that Donald Trump can win this election?
Absolutely. Yes, I do. Our nation deserves a great leader.
No worries.
Well, I'm from the 5th Congressional District in Minneapolis, where we have Keith Ellison as our representative, our congressman. And I'm not represented in any part of my government, not city council, not locally, not state, and not federal. So I need Trump. I'm a single parent, and I can't take these policies of the other party. They're killing me.
Boy, you're in the wrong state.
You're telling me. Yeah.
Minnesota, one of the most liberal states in the country.
Absolutely. I was born there, and we're outnumbered 5-1 in Minneapolis. So
listen, thank you for your time, and nice to meet you, and the dress is beautiful. We're going to pause here for the Star Spangled Banner. I'll tell you what, you get a healthy dose of patriotism at these events, whether it's a Democratic or Republican convention. Texas, you got a moment?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, you comfortable with Trump?
Yeah, Trump's our nominee, and we need to beat Hillary, and so we need to get out there and support him.
Were you one of the guys giving Senator Cruz hell earlier?
No, not at all. Not at all. Absolutely not.
He took a tongue lashing from you guys.
Absolutely. He didn't take a tongue lashing from me. Senator Cruz is a man of principle. He told people to vote their conviction.
Conscience.
And vote your conscience. So if your conscience is that Hillary Trump needs to be defeated and Donald Trump can do that, vote for Donald Trump.
That is the tie that binds this delegation together right now, is anti-Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely. No doubt about that.
Hey, have a good night tonight. Thank you for your time. Appreciate it. Okay, we'll keep motoring along here.
You know, it's interesting you just brought that up, John. Kanye West recently tweeted there's no stronger bond than the bond between two people who hate the same person.
Well, you know, this is the thing, Samia. We're into a what some call an election of lowest common denominator. There are a lot of Americans who are not comfortable with either choice. And so you're kind of left with that lesser of two evils situation. And for the Republicans, they look at this, and whether they like Donald Trump or not is kind of immaterial. They're like, look, he's going to have to be our guy. We don't have another choice. Now, granted, third-party discussions, that's possible that will get some traction as we go forward. As of right now, it would not appear that the third-party candidate's going to make it to the debates, but we'll have to stay tuned for that. Popcorn in here smells really good. I could use some right now.
John, I understand that 15,000 media were credentialed. How many people are in that building or in that arena?
What's that, Samia? One more time?
I know that there were 15,000 people credentialed. That combined with all the delegates, I mean, how many people are at this thing?
Oh, there's a bunch. I mean, think about the arena probably seats, I don't know, it might seat 11,000. And then you've got the floor entirely filled with delegates. And the delegate number is 2,000 some odd. So, how many? Yeah, 2137, right. That's why we needed 1137. Are we still not there? It seems like we've gone too far. I don't want to miss our live shot here, Samia.
It's at 114.
114. I don't know. I feel like we went too far. Hey, Samia, I think we're going to have to sign off here because we got to get to a live shot. So I'm gonna.
All right, guys, we are going to let John get ready for the 5 o'clock newscast. We're going to take you live inside the convention. Looks like things are just kicking off now. Thanks, John.
You got it.